so we are leaving Corfu today. Talia is ready to sail again.
Let's get this show on the road.
Yay!
Unbelievable. Some people really are irresponsible. Feel like healing a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's sail.
Hey everyone, so we are leaving Corfu today. We actually woke up super early because as usual we had a night, but it's okay. At least we saw the sunrise here on Corfu and it's quite amazing with all the mountains in the horizon. And we are now ready. It's I think 7 something, it's 7:30 almost. Today we are going to a small island south of Corfu, which is Paxos, and we're probably gonna anchor in Laka, which is a bay in the north of Paxos. I'm waiting for Luke and then we should be okay to leave this beautiful island of Corfu. We stayed here actually quite a long time, I would say like 2 weeks, because the boat was on the ground in the shipyard for at least a week and a half. But now Talia is ready to sail again. I can't wait to explore these new places, especially Paxos and Antipaxos, which is an even smaller island south of Paxos. There are a lot of bays here in Greece. Yesterday with Luke we were on Navily, the app, and we were checking at all the anchorage here in Greece. And I think we're gonna have a pretty good summer. Hey! Here they are.
The engine is warming up. I like to give the engine 10 minutes to warm up before we set off. I was just having a quick look at a quick final look at the weather, and it looks like we should be either running with the wind or on a bit of a beam reach for most of the way. There's not much wind though to be spoken of today, unfortunately. Kind of makes me think we probably should have left yesterday when there was a little bit more wind. We were just a bit rushed yesterday with getting everything ready for Paxos. Basically, Paxos is the more inhabited of the two islands, and that's where we're first arriving. So we should be able to get provisions if needs be. Antipaxos, on the other hand, seems a little bit more wild. By the time we get there, we want to make sure that we've got everything we need. I just noticed that we're running a little bit low on bottled water.
Oh, yeah.
But apart from that, we can just boil the salt out of the seawater, right, if we need to.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I'm not sure if that's how it works. Filter it out? You don't boil it out. I don't know.
I think you can boil it to remove all the salt from the water.
But then
no?
Doesn't the water go before the salt goes? I don't know. This is why we sail in very inhabited places like the Mediterranean instead of far-flung places, because we would probably die. Anyway, let's get this show on the road.
Yay!
So we've just weighed anchor at the main anchorage of Corfu Old Town, which is the Bay of Garitsas. Now, it's a very popular anchorage, and it's a very picturesque place to anchor for a night or two, but we found it gets pretty rolly at night. Mind you though, it is quite well protected from the prevailing wind. The thing is, holding there isn't great, and yesterday we had, what, 24 knots of gusts. The anchor didn't drag, we held tight, but just then as we were weighing anchor, half of the seabed came up with the anchor, which wasn't ideal. As Laure was at the helm, I was trying to fish off all this clay and mud and whatever else is down there, and the whole thing fell off the anchor all in one go and created a massive splash and just saturated me. Laure heard the sound and thought that I'd fallen overboard. Anyway, it was a bit of fun to make sure we were awake early in the morning. Can you keep an eye on the sail?
Yeah.
Trip down to Paxos so far has been very, very calm. There's 4.8 knots of apparent wind at 30 degrees to our bow, so we're talking hardly a breath of wind. But what's really interesting is the result of the anti-fouling that we've had done there in Corfu. So right now I've got 1500 revs on the engine, and I'm still doing over 5 knots of speed over ground, which is pretty damn good. So a clean hull really does add a lot of speed to your boat. For the moment we've got the mainsail up, not that it's really doing anything more than stabilizing the boat, but that said, the water's kind of like oil here, so I don't think there's a lot of stabilizing needing to happen. The only time we really get a bit of swell is when one of these big cruise liners or ferries go past, but it's all very, very bearable and very smooth sailing, albeit motor sailing. This guy is coming right on our arse, and I have very shallow water approaching on my starboard side. He wants to come close to my port side, so I'm kind of trapped. I'm a very slow vessel, he's a very fast vessel. He's going to go around to my port side. By the looks of things now, he's noticed us. That's a nice start. Not on AIS, and definitely the size that should be on AIS. Oh, it takes all sorts to make a world.
Tsunami! Oh my god. Ah!
Unbelievable. Some people really are irresponsible, and that guy is a captain of a not just a charter boat, but a tourist boat that runs this probably every day, and made the decision to come directly at us. And when he saw that I wasn't changing course, he then decided to come, what, 10 meters from us and leave us in his wake. Irresponsible. Anyway, moving on to better things. We are only 4 hours away from our destination.
Another good news is that I'm baking. I'm baking a bread, and it looks really, really good. So check this out. Woo! No, honestly, it looks really good. I find a perfect way to bake some bread now, so I'm super happy. I'm gonna put it in the oven right now and see how it looks, and if you want a recipe, just comment down below.
So it's a pretty unique kind of sail. We've got very, very little wind, but there is an interesting smell in the air. What's that smell in the air?
Yeah, what's that smell? Ah!
This is Laure's attempt at comedy. Yeah.
It's the bread smell!
So we've got fresh bread baking in the oven, and it smells amazing. We should arrive in Laka Bay on Paxos at around 10 to 12, so just before midday, which should be right on time for some lunch. And I'm hungry.
I prepared the dough yesterday night, and so that way it has the time to rise during the night. And this morning I just kneaded the dough again. I let it rest for 2 more hours, and then I put it in the oven like for 30 minutes at 2040 degrees Celsius.
2040 degrees Celsius.
Ah, 240! Sorry. A big shout out to our latest Patreons, Larry, Dave and Erica. Your support really means the world to us. If you enjoy our videos each week, consider becoming a patron. Link in the description below.
So we're between the islands now, and the wind hasn't really been playing ball for most of the morning, but right now we're actually in a good situation where we've got probably wind at about 70 degrees from our bow, and it's about 9.5, 10 knots of breeze, and we're doing 5.2 knots of speed, which is pretty good actually. We're doing half the wind speed. So I'm pretty happy with that. We've got full main out, and we've got, for some reason, we've got a reef in the head sail. I'm not sure why. I think maybe we can afford to let that reef out. What do you reckon? Feel like healing a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's sail. I'm gonna put this boat in autopilot for a moment and unfurl the rest of the head sail, and then we're good to go. How do you feel about that?
I feel fine.
All right. It's a pretty indescribable feeling, that moment when you switch off the engine and you're just sailing with the wind. There's nothing quite like the rhythm of the hull cutting through the sea. It's almost hypnotic. Lacquer taught us lesson number 1 when it comes to anchoring in Greece. If the anchorage looks like a bottle of Bombay Sapphire, then it's gonna be a good anchorage.
Lacquer is a gorgeous little fishing village in the north of Paxos.
While it's a popular destination for the sailing community, we were very lucky to anchor with only a handful of other boats in the bay. From June onwards, this place is known to cram more than 100 boats in. While the streets have an unmistakable Mediterranean vibe, the views across this anchorage are absolutely breathtaking. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button down below, and if you're new here, give that subscribe button a cheeky little tickle.
Cheers, legends!